so hidden the scene. Shit tales of Oz and foreigner dreams. Tales are crazy wild as the wind. Laughs and madness could make you spin. Shit tales rolling forward as king. The podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide. From down under to the Sunshine State, mishaps and mayhem can't escape fate. Chuvalo and Croc Dundee, a wild ride on Podcast C. Shit tales rolling Florida's king. Podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide. From down under to the Sunshine State, mishaps and mayhem can't escape fate. Chuvalo and Croc Dundee, a wild ride on Podcast C. Shit tales rolling Florida's king. Podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Craptown Florida Man Power Ranking Podcast. I am NCR News Network, and live on location is the man, the myth, the field marshal himself, Mr. Anthony Caruso.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, NCR, and to everyone listening right around the world. Yes, I'm not coming from my usual Sydney studios. I'm down in Melbourne at the moment.
Well, we do understand that you are covering some very important news down there. Apparently, some Gronks and Gronkasses decided to channel their inner Florida man. And we needed you there to make sure they stay in one location.
Well, the big one we had to deal with was there was the Australian Formula One Grand Prix down here, and unfortunately, I couldn't get down here in time for it. But I do believe someone decided it would be a good idea to turn the sprinklers on and off during the course of the race repeatedly. So it's a fine waste of water, and turned, mind you, it did have its benefits. It turned the race into something truly spectacular because no one knew what the condition of the road was like.
That is fucking amazing. Before we start this week's episode, we have a word from two of our sponsors.
Get the very best in cooked and cured meats with Holy Smoke Barbecue. Come and join our residential Pope and the Papal Rotti as they serve up a godly spread of ribs, breasts, pork sword kebabs, and rumps from around the world. Whether it is glazed in their very own signature water-to-wine sauce or treated from the Holy Smoker itself, you are guaranteed to have an out-of-body experience as you bite down on meat sent from heaven. Holy Smoke Barbecue. We are never afraid to show off our meat.
Always a good sponsor.
Always a very good sponsor indeed. It's making me hungry already, right?
Oh, no.
Just stop it a little bit. Yes.
And a word from our final sponsor.
Need to clean up some fallen down trees or deal with an unwanted body? Then look no further than Woody's Woodchipper Emporium. At Woody's Woodchipper Emporium, we have the very best in materials and equipment to be able to clean up any mess that you so desire. Just make sure you ignore the red paint that is located in and around the woodchipper itself. Woody's Woodchipper Emporium. Find us in the woodchipper section or give us a call at 1-800-CHOPPER-BODY.
Always good to hear from
Woody's
Woody.
Woodchipper.
Always good to hear from Woody.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
am in possession of the ceremonial coin.
You nicked it off me. I've been wondering where it went.
Yeah, you'll get it back next week. Please call it.
I'm calling heads.
And it is a heads.
Get in.
Hold on.
We're gonna.
We can do this right. We can do this right.
Hot damn!
Absolutely. Oh, what a fine specimen of human he is. We're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with our first story. It is coming from South Australia, but it's not Port Pirie.
I am shocked. They've behaved.
Mind you, it is a town equally as shit as Port Pirie. It is Whyalla.
Ooh.
There is no, and we haven't seen a Whyalla wipeout right there on my TV, but we do have, unfortunately, behind a paywall, a grub caught on CCTV camera defecating on a random parked car.
Why am I not surprised?
Now, fun fact for people, in Australia, it is actually legal. Yes, I said legal to urinate on the front left wheel of your car. Surprise?
A bit.
Yep, it is legal. That says nothing about defecating on it.
Well, to quote Dr. Ian, you gotta go, you gotta go.
This is the problem as well, is that Australia for a couple of years now have had this rising trend of people we call poo joggers going on for a run and then out of nowhere decide to drop their pants and drop a deuce at the same time. Now, we don't have a name. We don't have the reason that they're out there. The poo jogging seems the most logical reason. We're not sure of it. But if you do find out this poo jogger, please call South Australia Police, because the last thing we need is steaming piles of turds being left on cars.
Indeed.
Who's your number 10?
Number 10 is a wildlife encounter. A Florida man finds a live alligator in his kitchen.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yes.
Hungry.
He was he was hangry. There is no actual article, but there is a video we can play. I will pull it up now. But to find a gator in the kitchen, it's kind of not that big of a deal.
I can't believe it happened, but it did.
Paul Quinn will never forget what happened to him Sunday morning.
It's one of those things you don't think that it'll happen to you.
Instead of doing his usual routine, checking his email, he was being checked out by a gator inside his home.
I'm like, is
Yes, that is the actual gator inside of his house.
Hey, dude. I think you missed the golf course.
That look is just like, you've got central air. I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, this is like, I just got comfortable. I'm not getting up.
I just made
So that's-
myself at home, man.
It's that and the thing is as well, with an alligator like that, you just sort of look at it and just goes, if you're just sitting there, oh, fine, just sit there. As long as you don't do anything.
But then he's also got the same look like, oh, I'm going to do something now.
really an alligator in my living room or in the kitchen area here? And then he saw me and he started running. I'm like, oh crap, I got to deal with this today.
Paul was by himself at the time. He called 911 and waited 50 minutes for FWC to arrive and remove the gator. He kept his distance and quickly pulled out his phone.
I mean, come on. Look at that.
Clearly see this guy didn't want to leave, but how did it get inside?
The Quinns tell me that they usually leave their doors open to get some extra breath inside. The alligator wanted to make itself at home, busting through this screen and causing a commotion.
Paul's
Okay, come on now. Come on. I want to make everyone well aware. That was not Wally. Wally is a well-behaved emotional support alligator. He's a good boy and he loves his battles.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Paul's wife, Mary Jo, rushed home to see if he was okay. He wasn't hurt, but had a few questions.
Why did it come to your house, MJ? And two, how much did animal control charge to take it away? I would have been ticked if there'd been a bill.
So the alligator.
Okay, I spoke to Dwayne about this and he's pissed that he did not get the phone call. Because he said he would have done it for $20 and they would have got some meat and maybe a belt or boots. Maybe a nice handbag for the missus. I mean, come
Oh,
on. Here's the funny thing. That gator's small. It's going to be relocated. If it was bigger, they would have just killed it. And that's where you make your money. Because in Florida, people who have to dispose of those gators can take them to processing plants, and they can sometimes pay by the pound. So, yeah. Alligator money.
Grabbed the chair by the leg when the guy had him, was trying to wrestle and get him out of here.
There was no bill, but the gator left a mark on this chair and left the Quins a souvenir, 2 of his teeth.
That made me nervous.
Now we got to get the alligator slime out of the house.
But this won't stop the Quins from what Florida has to offer.
I don't want to have a fear of an alligator just walking up our front walk into our foyer again. I can't live like that. I live in Florida. I love living here. I'm not leaving.
Reporting in
Well, then
Gateway,
get used to it, lady.
Be careful. Be mindful of the alligators. This is why.
Muhammad Abdul-Kawi, Gulf Coast News.
I mean, I find it to be hilarious. I'm not surprised. Who is your number?
I'm sorry. Before I do my number 9, I'm going to give that gator an MVP nomination.
Second. I'm going to give him a nod too.
Yeah.
That might change.
I can't blame him for doing that, So,
And
all
to say
right.
he was slimy, that's rude.
That's
Really?
I know. He was just chilling. That's all he was doing. My number 9, and we head off to Redcliffe in Queensland. And I'll tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a big week for Queensland. For those of you who know, there was a tropical cyclone that had been impacting there earlier last week. And so, they've been through some rough times. And, we don't want to be too mean to Queensland, but it doesn't stop them from pulling out shithouse behaviour. And our story, a pair of cops in Redcliffe have been hospitalised after allegedly being repeatedly stabbed with a syringe at a watch house. With thanks to 9 News, 2 police officers are in hospital and a third has been treated by paramedics after a watch house assault north of Brisbane. 9 News understands a police officer at Redcliffe Police Station was grabbed around the neck at the station watch house by a man who had been arrested and remanded. The officer was unable to breathe to the point where they almost lost consciousness before allegedly being pricked in the neck with a syringe.
Oh, man. My heart goes out to that cop because...
Oh, God.
I don't know if you ever watched Donut Operator before, but he's gone over the procedures of what happens when you get stuck with a syringe or bit. You've got to go and you got to get tested for blood and saliva-based diseases that can be transferred. And you've got to do that you got to wear protection for 6 months. You got to go and repeat those tests for the next 6 months. It's an ordeal.
Yeah. It's not great in that regards there. And what's even worse is that Queensland Police Union President Shane Pryor did say he should not have even been in the watch house. The fact that our members were assaulted with a syringe is not only a disgusting act of violence, but also puts our members at significant risk of disease. It'd been there for less than 24 hours. Oh, dear, oh, dear. And now they've got to be worried about this guy possibly having anything from hepatitis C to HIV as a result. It's not a pleasant thing. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say to that person who pricked him with a syringe, there's my early nomination for Golden Turd.
Oh, yeah. And if he's listening...
Stop it. Get some help.
Agreed. Who's your number 9?
Number 9 is another animal, but body cam footage of Florida man struck by police horse leads to wild horseback chase in a crowd.
Hey, that's Young.
So this comes out of Hillsborough County, but a man was arrested in Ybor City after the body cam footage from Tampa Police Department Mounted Division shows a horse chase in a bustling Ybor City street. And if you're unfamiliar with Ybor, it is a very popular tourist and party town. actually made famous by Jeremy DeWitt being there one time at Homeland Security trying to pick a fight with them while dressed in his dress blues. On March 9th, at closing time, it was said by the officers to tell people to start heading home. An officer on his horse on the mounted division, the horse Mount Opie, were making their way through the crowds. However, God damn ads popping up. They were making their way through the crowds, and then the officer could be heard saying, "Do not touch the horse." The police say that Justin Rita then allegedly struck the police horse before running off into the crowd, attempting to avoid apprehension. The horse can see him gallop through the crowd as the officers went after Rita. "Stop, you're under arrest. Watch out," officers said. Eventually, the officer was able to apprehend Rita, where he was charged with a felony for hitting said horse. In Florida, it is the same punishment if you attack a police horse or canine officer as it is to attack an actual police officer. He was arrested for assault on an officer, one count of resisting without violence. And, well, would you like to see some of the body cam?
Do it. Do it.
Hold on, let me pull it up here, because when do we ever really get the chance to watch the police at work?
The door is closed. Time to go home. Do not touch the horse. 10-15 this guy. 10-15 him. Hey, you're under arrest. You're under arrest. Sir, stop. You're under arrest. Watch out, Tampa Police.
Get him, Opie.
Watch out, Tampa Police. Arrest that man. Black jacket, white male, brown hair. He hit the horse.
You can see the guy in the white.
Now we're
Right here.
missing
Go right
one
here.
thing here.
Watch out. Right here. Right there.
All right, yeah.
We're missing the theme to Bonanza. This year has been the year of police horse.
The Wild Wild West is cracking open right now, isn't it?
It is. Especially because
that's
the mounted divisions there actually get cowboy hats. We should have got the cops lassos. Damn it! I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna make a petition to make all mounted divisions have lassos to lasso people.
yeah.
Who is number 8 for the crap towns of Australia?
Number 8, and we head off to a town I actually know fairly well, not only because I've been there a couple of times. I've got a couple of my good mates who live there. So if you're listening in, I hope you're enjoying. We're off to Budgewoi in New South Wales, where feral kids have bashed a caravan park staff after being asked to leave the pool. New South Wales police say they're closing in on a number of youths who allegedly punched and kicked staff members at a caravan park on the central coast of New South Wales. About 30 children allegedly let themselves into the pool area at the Budgewoi Holiday Park on Sunday when 2 staff members asked them to leave. The interaction turned violent when the youths allegedly began kicking and punching the workers in groups of 3 to 4 at a time, including in the head and while the alleged victims were on the floor. Now, thankfully, this incident was caught on camera, but what was disgusting was seeing one woman get repeatedly stomped on and another woman getting swarmed by a group of 5. with bystanders forced to intervene and break up the fight afterwards. New South Wales police have confirmed that the alleged offenders would either be arrested and charged or dealt with under the Youth Offenders Act. It's a violent act. It's unacceptable. It occurred in a holiday area where families go to have a good time. The holiday park staff said they were frustrated and fearful, with some even considering quitting their job, saying incidents like this happen week in and week out. I can only say to the kids involved with this, take a long, hard look at yourself. And if you can't do that, then maybe a tour of the wood chipper may suffice for yourselves.
Oh, yes. Because that is just unacceptable.
And you know what? I'm sure Woody's would be able to provide a great viewing party for yourselves.
Oh, yeah. They got that industrial one now. They call it the Mulcher.
Yep.
I see him throw in a cicada. I mean, a second.
Jeez, nice. Who's next? Who's the next cab up the rank for yourself, NCR?
The next one for me is Florida man sentenced to 6 years for biting deputy's head at a EDM festival.
An ear? What, do you think he's Mike Tyson?
No, not the ear. He bit the officer's head.
Oh, the head. Ouch.
In Holmes County, Florida, a man took a bite out of a Holmes County deputy's head during the SoFest the SoFest festival and go to prison. A Florida man, James Anderson, age 37, of Westville, entered a plea of guilty on Friday for aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. The judge adjudicating Anderson's guilty verdict plea and sentenced him to 6 years in prison and another 10 years of probation.
Oof.
Oh, so according to the reports, the deputies tried to arrest Anderson during the EDM festival. And, well, Anderson grabbed a deputy's gun and then bit him on the head, removing a chunk of flesh, exposing the deputy's skull.
Jesus, how much of a chunk did he take of this?
Did that motherfucker watch Return of the Living Dead or something? The deputy has recovered from his injuries, but I don't think I'd want to be a cop anymore. That happened to me.
Jeez. Oh my God, that's
there's only one thing comes to mind here and that.
You fucking weirdo.
I know.
Let's move on to number 7 for the shit towns of Australia. Because
number 7 for the shit towns of Australia, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to Caboolture in Queensland, where this is probably one of the more unusual ones I'll ever come across. A Gronk has allegedly tried to steal a power generator during Tropical Cyclone Alfred.
What the hell, man?
I mean, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It will be alleged that around 3 p.m., officers were notified of a man tampering and attempting to steal a power generator powering a set of traffic lights at the intersection of Bribby Island Road and Torval Point Road before he was disturbed and left the scene in a white utility. Officers attending the scene and observed.
Did he watch a previous episode of ours?
I think it may be possible. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Officers attended the scene and observed that a chain securing the generator had been cut, and as a result, power had been lost to the nearby traffic lights. Officers attended Ningi address a short time later and located a man in a white utility vehicle that contained a pair of Ladies and gentlemen, bolt cutters. The man has been given notice to appear for one count attempting to steal, and one count of willful damage. I mean, during these times, everyone needs to pull together, especially in areas that are getting impacted by a tropical cyclone. Stealing a generator is not helpful.
It's not. I mean, we had the same thing happen in Florida with Helene and Milton, where the guy tried to steal the exact same. He did the exact same thing. He tried to steal a generator from a traffic light.
Are the idiots in Queensland taking lessons from Florida at the moment?
Apparently.
I don't know how to explain that, honestly. Who's your number 7?
Hold on. I think somebody has something to say to this particular grunk.
Oh, well, you can kindly go fuck yourself.
Oh, don't worry. That's not the only time we're going to be seeing King Shark tonight either.
Oh.
He's going to be busy tonight.
Oh, yes, he is. Are you ready for this one?
Go for it.
Florida man accused of trying to meet theft meets his match at an Aldi's and ends up in the cooler. If you're unfamiliar, Aldi's is a grocery store that has a lot of nice things and really great prices and really good products.
I'm a bit of a fan of Aldi.
They have some of the best food there. I love their stuffed crust pizza. But according to Broward County sheriffs, an incident took place on March 10th where deputies were dispatched to an Aldi's store located at the 7050 North University Drive to reports of theft. Upon arrival, speaking to the Aldi's employees and a witness who witnessed 2 black men and 1 black female stealing multiple items from the store before they threw it all into a Kia Soul in the parking lot. The suspects have been identified as Yvonne Rupert, age 44, Rudolph Swifter, age 42, and Leonard Hill, age 42. Leonard was caught on a traffic stop following the theft, where as the group approached the vehicle, witnesses reported that Robert allegedly took out a large knife and threatened members there at them, attempting to stop them from stealing. Witnesses took photos of the vehicle and provided them with the license plate to the police. After the police put a bolo out on the Kia Soul, it was found near Sunrise Boulevard, and they were promptly arrested. They were caught with the following products: 20 packs of fish and steaks. I mean, it's a lot of meat. They also found the large knife pulled out of a detergent box that Roberta had pulled out on them. They were charged with the following charges: theft under 600, which is petty theft, and Roberta caught another charge of robbery with a weapon for the alleged knife being used. They are still currently booked in at this time, to my knowledge, at the county jail. And,
oh, that's impressive.
I'll pull up the mugshots now. Yeah, meat theft. One of the worst crimes out there.
I mean, holy smokes, should be a little bit worried if these three are floating around.
I know. The Holy Smoker needs to be put down on lockdown. Who is your number 6, my friend?
My number 6, and we got a big one this week coming out of the Gold Coast in Queensland. Of course, one of the other towns that got affected by ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. But we've got 3 stories coming out of this. Which one are we going to focus on? Well, I'll tell you the other ones, and I'll tell you the one we're going to focus on. First off, we had arseholes shooting up a pet peacock and a wallaby with an arrow. Pretty shit behavior, if you ask me. Yep. A torpedo was washed up on the beach after the Defence Force lost it during one of their exercises.
Hold on.
Yep, pretty much. And a drongo was then arrested after, of all the stores he could loot, he looted a gelato store and left his mobile phone behind.
Well, I'll do a lot for some really good gelato.
Oh, I mean, to be fair. But our main story is an absolute humdinger. Groms have been charged during the cyclone of doing a drug deal with police officers in plain sight. They're there doing a drug deal and police are standing across the road.
Hold on.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That one was perfect.
$630,000 worth of drugs as well.
Jesus Christ.
Gold Coast detectives were sent to carry out patrols on community safety ahead of ex-tropical cyclone Alfred when they came across a man on a motorbike in Burleigh Heads at 11 a.m. on Friday. He allegedly placed a bag in a Park Silver VW Golf before riding away. Officers were able to intercept the car where they found 2.1 kilos of methamphetamine, 22.6 grams of heroin, a small amount of cannabis, cash, mobile phones, a taser, and a flick knife. Obviously, I just saw that motorbike pull up and drop something in the back of the car.
Well, there's your probable cause, Chili.
A man who police will allege was the driver of the motorbike then approached the car while police were searching it and allegedly said his backpack was in the car.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Oh, fucking do it again.
It gets better. It gets better.
How?
A stolen Ducati was also found and seized.
Oh man, I appreciate that. You know I do. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is amazing. The motorbike rider was charged with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, supplying dangerous drugs, possessing things used in crime, unlawful use of a motor vehicle, and disqualified driving. The alleged driver of the car, a 46-year-old man from Indurapilli, was also taken into custody, charged with 3 counts of possessing dangerous drugs, 2 counts of unlawful possession of a weapon, 1 count of supply dangerous drugs, 1 count of possession things used in commission of a crime, 1 count of possessing property suspected to be proceeds of crime, and possessing drug paraphernalia.
How is this not number 1?
Holy.
For those two gentlemen.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay? It's a bad thing to do drugs, so don't be bad by doing drugs.
Oh my god!
Oh my,
Oh my
how,
god!
believe me, that's my number 5. That's my number 6.
I don't know how that's not number 1.
Wait till we get to the rest of them, but it's your turn for your number 6.
Oh, my number 6 is well, Troy.
I'm Troy McClure, and I'll leave you with what we all came here to see: hardcore nudity.
Ah, yeah.
A Florida man is accused of exposing his genitalia to mail carrier in Miami Gardens.
So, did you say milk carrier?
Mail
Mail carrier. Oh. I was going to say, if it was a milk carrier, I'd be disappointed if he didn't go up, expose himself, and then say, "Got milk."
But a Miami Gardens man was arrested on Thursday after he exposed his genitals to a U.S. mail carrier outside of his home, according to authorities. According to the arrest report, the incident occurred Monday afternoon on the 3000 block of Northwest 190th Street. The Miami Gardens police said the victim was delivering mail to a independent living facility when one of the residents, Keon Marcus, age 44, was sitting on the front porch and made sexual comments towards the female deliverer, which she says he does every day. According to the reports, he took it a step further on Monday by exposing his genitalia, pleasuring himself looking at the victim. The police identified him as one of the owners of the house. The victim then identified him in a photo array where he was subsequently arrested on Thursday and charged with indecent exposure. According to the report, Marcus was arrested and in custody with a similar incident in October of 2023. As of Friday, he is being held in the Turner Gulfport Night Correctional Facility on a $1,000 bond. I know they're supposed to handle packages, but not that package.
Oh my God, that is incredible. That's just.
Did you ever see Nutsy Chuck and Larry?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Handle with care.
Yes.
Handle with care.
Oh.
Who is your number 5?
My number 5 takes us to Moreton Bay in Queensland, where not only have we had scumbags steal emergency sandbags and tarpaulins from a depot getting ready for the cyclone, but then the lowlifes tried to sell said sandbags to vulnerable locals.
Oh my God.
As millions of residents prepare for Cyclone Alfred's landing on Thursday night, Queensland locals have been left outraged after opportunistic hustlers have been outed advertising sandbags for sale. Dozens of community-based sandbag stations are operating in southeast Queensland to provide residents with an allocation of filled waterproofers with lines lasting for hours to grab as many as possible. But people in the path, potentially one of the worst storms ever to lash the Australian coastline, are witnessing the best and worst of humanity. So, social media users are hot under the collar under the sandbags that are popping up for sale. And it turns out quite a few of them have actually been stolen from depots and sold by the people who stole those sandbags.
Oh my. Do you have no shame?
I mean, I understand that they were just getting into the hustle of it, but no, this is not the place where you go to hustle. This is not cash for demerits, all right?
Listen, there's a lot of things we support here, but that is not one of them.
Now, here's the worst part. There was a connected story with this of something happening in Lismore, which is just on the other side of the border between New South Wales and Queensland from where this was all happening, where a man was caught another man was then caught stealing sandbags, an offshoot of it, allegedly refused to undergo a roadside breath test while caught with the stolen sandbags, taken in, and blew 0.152. Not only that, but his license was previously suspended.
Why am I not surprised? 1.52, Jesus, man.
Or 0.4152, but yes. Oh, geez. This is just the whole cyclone has brought out the best and worst in some people. Who is your number 5?
Number 5 is a Florida man creates wind boxing and is selling a $70 stick and elemental barrier bindings, lessons to help defend yourself. A hustle beyond hustles here. But it is alleged that the creator of wind boxing, a new form of mystical combat, will teach you to defend yourself using the wind. Somebody watched Dragon Ball Evolution, and it did not sit well with them. Now, here's the funny thing. He is selling magic wands to help you with your wind boxing. Now, he is selling, yes, he is selling the Golden Age package, which costs $55.55, which promises you to teach you magic spells, elemental binding, and his revolutionary martial art. However, on the actual website, when you click on it in the article, it shows you the 2 wands that he's selling. One is a Dragon Blood wand for $333.33, and the Midnight Mystic wand for $222.
Right.
I mean, I'm all for a good hustle. But I don't think he's the right person to be your Shidoshi.
Is that Timu Bob Marley?
I believe so, but I'm not making this up. Look at that price.
Holy! That's a very specific price as well.
And the Midnight Mystic wand.
Again, a very specific price.
I mean, again, I respect a good hustle. I do. But I don't know how we can compete with that.
Oh, you know. Yeah, I don't know how we compete either. Oh, that's funny.
It is. So,
Alrighty.
Who is your number 4?
My number 4, we head off to Corindi Beach in New South Wales. And unfortunately, it's another story involving poor behavior of people from ex-tropical cyclone Albert. Sorry, Alfred, I
Damn
should
you,
say.
Albert.
Alfred.
Damn you. Why couldn't you be helping Bruce?
What happened in Corindi Beach? A dead shit allegedly threatens SES or State Emergency Services with a shovel after he was caught stealing sandbags. Oh my God, another one.
Hold on.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yep. A 23-year-old man has been charged after allegedly threatening State Emergency Service workers while armed with a shovel at a sandbag station in northern New South Wales. The man drove to a site. He filled and took several sandbags before driving from the scene, according to New South Wales Police. That man then returned to the location, took a number of other sandbags from other members of the public. SES workers spoke with the man when the man, who was armed with a shovel, allegedly threatened the worker. Police attended the scene a short time later and arrested him. Following the search, they found a knife and, you can guess what he also was armed with, NCR, can't you?
Meth?
No, armed.
Oh, a knife?
Bigger.
Shovel?
No, not only a knife and a shovel, but our favorite weapon, our favorite hand-to-hand weapon that we often see in the Shit Towns Florida Man podcast, a machete. Yes.
Oh.
It can't be. You can't have one of these stories unless someone's armed with a machete.
Apparently, it's like, what is it the last couple of weeks? It's axes and machetes and shovels. I'm expecting a sledgehammer next week.
Do you want to be someone's sledgehammer?
Yes, I do.
Peter Gabriel, we need you on the scene. The man was taken to Coffs Harbour Police Station, where he was charged with stalk, intimidation, intent to fear physical harm, personal, of course, custody of a knife in a public place. He was refused bail, where a further charge of intimidating frontline emergency worker was also laid.
Oh my!
So he is currently sitting at His Majesty's pleasure. Bail refused.
For our Americans who don't understand that, this is a very unique thing that's in the UK and in Australia. At your Majesty's pleasure means you don't get out unless His or Her Majesty says so.
In other words, and the reason why we say it like that is because the prosecution is listed in criminal proceedings as R or Rex or Regina, which is the Royals. It's always done as that. So whenever we refer to the Crown, it's the prosecution, and whenever we say at His Majesty's pleasure, it means he's been held indefinitely. So in this case, he's being held indefinitely before trial. I think a few people are going to enjoy that term, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your number 4?
Arrested on the water. A naked Florida man was pulled from the ocean and cuffed in Fort Lauderdale Beach. Oh.
Jeez.
Beachgoers thought they were watching an ocean rescue, but it was an arrest for armed robbery. Lauderdale by the Sea, Florida. Families were on the nearby beach in Fort Lauderdale, and they saw a man being rescued from the rip current. But it turns out he was being arrested in the ocean for armed robbery. This Florida man, Felix Orca, was sitting on the sands with his wife, and he grabbed his cell phone when he saw what he thought was a water rescue. Orca even posted on social media, "I want to correct congratulate the Burrard Sheriffs for this incredible rescue at the commercial Boulevard Beach. But the bravery for their bravery and quick actions as a testimonial to the comments made for Florida's safety through these thorough paths. But it was not the rescue he thought it was. A Florida man, Rafael Anga, age 40, was swept up and dove into the ocean off of Fort Lauderdale Beach on Saturday, where he had allegedly robbed the victim and started to steal his nearby gear. The victim said he tried to swim away from Anga, but Anga saw and struggled with him in the water, swimming back to get help. When the victim said that Anga reached for his diving flag and forcefully took from him his pole spear. The victim got his flag back but Anga had the spear, where he got away to get help. But Anga was getting ready to strike him with the spear. When authorities arrived on scene, they acted quickly. He threw the alleged spear at the victim. With such a short distance, it was easy for him to evade. The victim violently was intimidated by such an act. The deputies arrested Anga while he was still holding the spear in the water. He claims he was trying to fish, but that's not the case. He also threatened nearby victim. Anga was arrested and charged with robbery with a firearm, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and remains behind bars in Brevard County Jail. And before anyone asks, yes, in Florida, if you have something that can be used as a projectile, they can charge you with it as a firearm if it is the type of pole spear I think it is. There are certain types that do have a detachable head for spearfishing, and this might be one of those. Are we ready for the top three? Our medalists.
Oh boy, are we! So our bronze medalist takes us to Perth in Western Australia, where divers were left abandoned in the ocean by a tour boat.
I think I've seen that movie before.
Two scuba divers who were allegedly stranded by a tour boat off the coast of Western Australia were spotted in the water by an eagle-eyed ferry passenger. As investigations continue today, one of the divers and the man who saw them in the water have shed new light on what happened. Shannon told Nine News he was aboard a Rottnest fast ferry at about 12 p.m. on March the 2nd when he saw two men in the ocean waving in distress. An Australian maritime safety investigation is now underway after the pair were allegedly left behind while on a dive organised by Perth Diving Academy based at Hillary's Boat Harbour, while about 2 nautical miles offshore. Coming back from Rotto, which is the nickname for Rottnest Island, around midday noticed two black things bobbing on the water. As we got closer, we could see it was actually divers with no boat around or even close to where they were. Immediately tapped on the captain's window and pointed them out. He stopped the ferry, notified everyone they were turning around to get them. So to the person on the boat, good man.
You are a solid dude.
Very, very solid dude. And for your efforts, we'll be sending you a 6-pack of Vaucluse Bitter for your services.
Remember, drink responsibly.
Indeed. The diver said he trusted the eventual findings will help strengthen safety measures and prevent a repeat of the incident. So, basically, they went out for a dive. Perth Diving Academy's Wildcat left them there without picking them up, and they were nowhere to be seen. I'd be hugely concerned if that person was an instructor for PDA.
Well, I
I'm
know
talking
one thing.
about-
If I ever make it to Australia, I'm never going there for diving lessons.
Perth Diving Academy was approached for comment and said it was unable to comment as AMSA was continuing its investigations. I think you might be in a spot of bother, Perth Diving Academy.
Indeed.
Who is your bronze medalist?
A Florida woman is accused of reporting a hoax threat that locked down Parkland High School. If you're not familiar, Parkland was the high school where a terrible mass shooting took place. But in Parkland, a 21-year-old woman is facing some severe felony charges after she allegedly said that she filed a false report about a school shooting that led to the Marjay Stoneman Douglas High School to be placed on lockdown status on Monday. I'm not going to give this woman's name because she doesn't deserve the publicity, but she is from Coral Springs and was arrested by the Brevard County Sheriffs after she called 911 at 10 a.m. around 10 a.m. reported that she had made a Snapchat story. A 22-year-old made a Snapchat story threatening to shoot up the school. Or another high school, Monarch High School. Detectives learned the location where this took place, and it was at a Dunkin' Donuts in Coral Springs. The threats were made on the alleged Snapchat account. He had told the police that he knew the female who made the threats since they were in high school together. Authorities arrested her at her home, where she made a confession and then quickly retracted her statement in a publicly released report. According to the 911 call, which said that her voice could be heard making the false claims that there was going to be a shooting at one of these two schools. Records show that she has faced menacing charges in the past. And, well, she is now currently facing the charges of misuse of 911 or E911 services, disturbing the peace, and interfering with a school administrative functions. As of Tuesday, she still remains in custody, where she's been bonded out, where her bond was $650. Yeah, I want to give her a tour of the wood chipper, but in the wood chipper.
Jeez. You wonder how some people manage to survive life without getting lynched for that kind of behavior.
I mean, Parkland's dealt with this enough. No school needs to deal with this. I mean, to make these kind of claims and threats, you don't belong in polite society. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. Silver medal time?
Yep.
Our silver medalists, we head off to Geelong in Victoria. And I've got multiple stories out of this one here. The first minor one we've got is a teenager who tried to break into an airport and tried to board a plane while armed with a shotgun. Someone's clearly been playing too much Grand Theft Auto.
Maybe he watched the Rutger Hauer film, Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, you're not far off with that. But our main story, unfortunately behind a paywall, but this is simply incredible. A serial public wanker has pled guilty to public wanking while on parole for previous public wanking.
That boy ain't right.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, as I said, this story is behind a paywall, but I can confirm the name of the person and what happened. Public masturbator Stephen Burgess has pled guilty to the masturbation. August 5 last year, Burgess was in Kaisercraft in Newcombe when he pulled down his pants, exposed his penis, and began masturbating.
Charming to the left.
And his reason was he was just looking for love. But let's see if I can.
Got your camera on there.
It won't let me. No, I'm trying to switch the camera around, but it won't let me. So, but that's okay. I'll leave it be for now. But yeah, if you ever get this chance to look it up, prolific public masturbator looking for love in the shopping centres, rocking out with his cock out.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love.
Oh, let's just say
I'm sorry.
He's got one of the dodgiest looking mohawks you'll ever see. Oh boy. So yeah, Stephen Burgess, get your hand off it.
Someone get some oven mitts and duct tape.
Who's your silver medalist?
Silver medalist for the Shit Towns Florida Man podcast for this week. A Florida realtor coach facing 82 charges related to videos of intercourse with animals.
Oh no, we're not doing this again, are we?
That's nasty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, we're going to get Cleveland back again because it's going to happen more. But a Pasco realtor and youth lacrosse coach has been charged with 82 counts of streaming inappropriate videos of people engaging in carnal acts with animals and one child.
Wood chipper.
Bury him in the wood chipper. Burn it all.
Yeah.
But according to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, the investigation was started earlier this year after they received a tip that regarding 46-year-old Christopher Hayes was alleged to act on the platform Kick Messenger, that's K-I-K Messenger, instantly messaging on his mobile phone to, send people these videos. The detectives learned through subsequent uses of his IP address, which listed his home in Spring Hill. Deputies got the geolocation identified and returned to the address in Pasco County. According to the arrest affidavit provided to us and context from his app, the investigators learned that, and he came across over hundreds of videos and photos, some so disturbing, and at least one other depiction of a lacrosse event, and even one of his daily activities. Two of the files were identified to be CP, showing a child performing a cardinal act on a dog, according to the affidavit.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to read any further, but I'm just going to skip down to the fact that he was charged for all of this. He is facing multiple felonies. And to quote Samuel L. Jackson, I hope he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
Yeah, agreed. Scumbag. Absolute scumbag. That's
no
the story
redeeming that
from
individual?
yours. That's the story from yours that I am surprised didn't make number one.
Oh, my number one's still pretty good, but I don't think it's going to top yours.
Well, I don't know how it's going to go topping my number 6 story, which was just wild.
True.
But here comes my gold medalist. And it's another story involving drugs, but I mean, I can't explain how to do this. Our gold medalist for the Shit Towns of Australia for the week ending the 16th of March 2025 is Maroochydore in Queensland, where hospital staff have found a stash of drugs under a patient's foreskin.
What?
Talent Stephen Hams has been found after he rushed himself into hospital for emergency medical procedure. The surgeon working on him found drugs in his foreskin.
Oh, my.
Down, George, down.
Oh, my God. I mean, wouldn't that be painful?
I'm crossing my legs just hearing it.
Just, yeah.
Just hearing that makes myself hurt. I might need to rush myself to the hospital for this.
We cannot confirm what the medical procedure was. Usually they don't kind of report that kind of thing, but needless to say, it involves something around the groin area. They found the drugs. Yes, I can confirm it involved 2 packets of crystal meth.
Oh, so it was a ice rock emergency.
Oh, get out. Get out. Oh, it's your number 1.
My number 1 for the Shit Towns Florida Man Power Ranking for this week. A Florida man already serving a life sentence for triple homicide is involved in the murder for hire plot targeting Aaron Goodwin of Ghost Hunters. Are you familiar with the show?
Yes, I am.
According to TMZ, Ghost adventurer Aaron Goodwin's wife enlists a convicted killer in the murder for hire plot, police say. Now, according to this, the Florida inmate who the cops say was in communications with Goodwin's wife was alleged to be part of a plot for the convicted killer to unalive Aaron, according to police and TMZ. The police say that Aaron's wife, Victoria Goodwin, hatched a plot to have her husband off. To get out of the marriage, she allegedly enlisted the prisoner named Grant Omitos to help her to in this diabolical plot. Now, this is only going to get crazier, but when they dug deeper, they discovered that he was already serving a life sentence for the triple murder involving his family, a former nurse, I should say. Grant was found guilty in 2019 for the felony shooting of his father, mother, brother in their home. Before the murder, Amatos stole $210,000 from his family and spent the funds on a webcam model. I actually know this guy. I know who this is.
Go on.
He came from a really good family, and he got involved with a Bulgarian webcam model who pretty much played him for money, who worked on a camming site for the adult nature.
Right.
Now, he is already in custody. He's serving a triple life sentence. He ain't getting out. But Victoria contacts him and first learns from a true crime documentary and became his pen pal. She allegedly was going to pay. Go on.
This is getting wild.
Okay. So Victoria told Amatos that she wanted to kill Aaron, and she would provide him with the information and his locations and set times in California where he'll be filming ghost adventures with Zach Bagger. Cops say Aaron's wife and Amatos had set aside $11,515 to pay an alleged hitman. And Almos was alleged to message somebody about the alleged plot through text. How he got a cell phone to do that, I don't know. He's asleep right now in the hotel room. I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update from one of the text messages Aaron's wife sent? Needless to say, the police intervened and arrested her. She is currently being held in custody in Las Vegas, and so far the Vegas prosecutors have yet to charge Almotos for the attempted contract killing. But I mean, wow, for my gold.
I'll tell you what, this week's going to be close. I'm saying I may just hold on for it because that was a pretty good finish from yourself. But I think I hold on from my number 1 and my number 6. That should have been my number 1.
I mean, number 6 from you, man, was just wow. How did that not make number 1 is my first question.
Yeah.
But your number 1 was very painful.
Yes.
I'm going to have to dismiss your number 1 and put in your number 6 against my number 1.
I think so.
I mean, this is a tough call.
It's a very tough call. We're going to have to put it to the people. What do you think? What do you think?
Please let us know in the comments section or in the side chat of this particular premiere. But that is all we have for you for this week. I'm sorry for the delay. I blame Tropical Cyclone Alfred. He should not have been here. He should have been helping Batman.
Yep, agreed. I also take some of the blame as well because I've been doing something that a lot of people we know, have struggled to do from time to time. Actually, have work to do. So, my bad in terms of that. But I will be back on at my usual time next week, back in Sydney.
And on that note, folks, I want to thank you for joining us. I am NCR News Network.
I'm Anthony Caruso.
And we will see you guys next time.